Good afternoon. Today is June 15th, 2021, and I'll be going over the chart pattern for INDI Semiconductor. Currently, what you're looking at is Thunderbridge Acquisition 2, which is the SPAC that merged with INDI Semiconductor. As you can see, we had this big run up from $10.25 up to $14, almost $15. This is a pretty big run up, to be honest, close to 50%. And basically what happens normally with these SPACs is they start out at NAV, which is the net asset value. And once the merger deal gets announced, they have these big run-ups. We've seen it a thousand times before with CCIV and Lucid, IPO and SoFi. I mean, this is a common trend. And what happens is it runs up, and as time goes on, waiting and waiting for the merger, we see the pullback, we see the downtrend kind of form, and the bag holders kind of getting the scared money getting out. And as you can see, we get all the way down, back down to NAV, so back down to the 10 area. Shortly after, we got the confirmation that the merger was approved, the vote was approved, and the merger was set to happen. And this is where you see this big pop run up heading into the merger. Now, if we switch over to the post-merger ticker, which is INDI, we can see that the same thing happened over here. We had that huge run up on the day one of merger up to $11.90. Unfortunately, what happened after was not good news, which was all the way down to $8.40 in a 3-day period. Now, this happens all the time with SPACs, and kind of why I'm making this video, to kind of shine light and help retail win these battles, because this has happened over and over again, and people always assume that it won't happen to them until it does. So all these bulls from previously THBR were trapped, not breaking out of this downtrend. They finally break out, and then what do you know what happens? Back down to the downside, even lower than where they were. So the good news is once it hit that $8.40 kind of period, the bulls kind of took over for right now. They bought it back up to $9.47. Now that's a good sign. Unfortunately, this does not mean that the bulls are out of the water just yet. Looking back at the daily, no trend has been broken. I mean, this is a brand new chart trying to form its pattern, and no one really knows where the bottom is. You can see with similar companies, similar SPACs that recently merged, if we go look at Lightning eMotors, we have a similar story here. We have that run up once the merger is announced. We have the sell-off of the bag holders and people taking profits all the way down. And then right here, we have the merger, the dump of the merger, the buy up, and then the trickle back down to $5.80. So this dipped even more. So if we use ZEV as a comparison, and we look back at INDI, I know this is different market caps, different sectors, but it can kind of paint a picture of what's really happening to the SPACs in the overall market. Once again, merger, get that run up, and then the dump right after. Now, I believe INDI is a great company. They sell, or they design semiconductors. They have revenue, so they're producing money, and they're scheduled to have a 19% compounded annual growth, which is, really good. The issue, however, is the bottom hasn't been formed. So if you want to get in on INDI, which I think would be a great long-term hold, I would begin averaging in at these areas. Now, I would not go in heavy because, like I said, no bottom has been formed. We're not trending to the upside. So if you're buying in here, you're fighting the trend 100%. 100% you're fighting the trend. You're below NAV and you're trying to guess bottoms and pick bottoms, and you're going to get burned unless you dollar cost average in. That's all I got for you guys. Stay tuned. I'll have more. Thanks.